Breeding and training. The feed for working horses mainly contains green grass on the hills, available in the summer, dry oat grass and wheat straw, optionally with barley, peas, oats added. Raw egg is a special feed to horses for malnutrition and land clearing. The working horse needs to be fed in regular schedule and amounts, 4 to 5 times per day, 1 to 1.5 kilogram fodder per feeding, and the night feeding is especially important. Starting from lunar August-September, the amount of fodder per feeding needs to be increased to add strength. Stallion foals with talents generally start training at the age of 2. Good tracks are needed for training. This 100-meter track was bulldozed by Hu Wanliang. A training session starts at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. The earlier the better. With a little more fodder at night, the horse starts training in the morning on an empty stomach. Due to the genetic stability of flying pace, 2 hours per training and 2 or 3 trainings a month can be good enough. The key of gait training is proper horse shoe. Select shoes for the horse according to its strength and preference for shoe weight. Tianzhu working horses only wear shoes on 4 feet, the same weight left and right. Different sets are needed for different types of tracks. For example, light shoes for thick sand. At the beginning, let it pace slowly and get the gait right. Usually the foal will get the right gait within 2 or 3 months. Later, when it's gaining fat, it will speed up. Don't push it for a speed beyond its stamina. Otherwise, it tantrums and refuses to move. The rider controls the horse's gait mainly by the reins. Usually, its reins are very tight when flying pace. So riders of the working horses are often called. For breeding, people choose good stallions with strong flying pace ability, big build, long mane, pointed ears, big eyes, big nostrils, implies big lung capacity and better stamina. Good hoof, big and high chest, tiger body, to be stud horses. People borrow each other's stud horses for breeding. For a mare with strong flying pace ability, the owner will find a top stud working horse, no matter how far away it is. The breeding of working horses is relatively complex. The related knowledge is usually passed from the father to the sons. Disease control, castration, horse shoeing are also provided by family businesses and passed across generations. Trading. Market is the lifeblood of the working horse industry. The trading journeys are the very pulses of this lifeblood. Horse traders buy horses at local horse races, breed then ship them to foreign horse races for sale, or sell them to foreign horse traders who come to Tianzhu. Sometimes they serve as brokers for foreign horse traders. A horse trader relies on his acquaintance circle to sell horses, and expands this circle leveraging local and foreign horse races. Today, horse traders from Gansu Prefecture, Sichuan Province are coming to buy horses from Hu Wanliang. Horse traders first select horses they like, then test ride the horses. Finally, they negotiate the price. Through hundreds of years of history, horse trading has formed its unique knowledge and rules, such as the special gestures used for bargaining. Our students is learning here. The horse training knowledge is generally inherited by the son from the father, but whose son is an introvert and only trains horses, so who passed the training to his wife's brother. Because horse traders go deep into distant pastoral areas to interact with people there through arduous journeys. Horse trading bears rich cultural connotations. For instance, Hu Wanliang talks about how he was forced to learn Tibetan in 1995. That year I went to Qinghai to sell horses. I took 8 horses. When I arrived at the prairie there, I let go of the horses. But when I tried to find them back in the afternoon, only 4 were there, and the other 4 ran away. I searched for them and asked the Tibetans about them. It was near the Qishan River in Gannan, which is similar to our Datong River. By the hoof prints, I found the horses went along the river and thought they were washed away by the river. Just then, I met 2 Tibetans. I asked them if they had seen my horses, but they didn't understand my dialect, and I didn't understand theirs. So we talked for a long while without understanding each other. In fact, our horses ran into the mountain. In the evening, I returned without finding the horses. Tibetans told me that horses wouldn't cross the river, and most likely they ran into the mountains. The next afternoon, 2 Tibetans sent my horses back. Because Tibetans I knew there had good relations with local living Buddha. Also, I had good relationship with them. And Tibetans are honest. They said, Old Hu, these are your horses, because we don't have such horses here. Our Tianzhu horses are good looking, so they sent them back. After the horses were sent back, I met 2 Tianshui folks there. They opened a small shop selling underwear. I went to buy shoes. Just then, there was a Tibetan also buying things. I found that the Tibetan spoke Tibetan, while the 2 Tianshui folks also spoke Tibetan. I was very surprised. Hey, why Tianshui folks can speak Tibetan? Then I think if Tianshui people can learn the Tibetan language, I certainly can too. After I returned from the trip, I started learning Tibetan from my friend. I took out a book, starting from the horse's coat color, such as what is red horse's cord in Tibetan, what is gray horse cord. Then counting money, 1, 2, 3, 4, then accumulating and learning slowly. Now I have learned the Tibetan words used in business and daily life, and I can basically communicate with them. Hu Wanliang's history of selling good horses and his integrity give him good reputation and credibility in the circle of horse lovers in nearby pastoral areas. His mastery of Tibetan dialects and understanding of local customs greatly helped his business. Another example is the life and death experience of Hu Wanliang when he went to the Chima River to sell horses together with several gold-brushing Muslim friends in 1992. In 1992, we went to the Chimale County and traded horses for sheep. On our way back, it had rained for 3 days, so the cow dung was all wet, and we finished off all the fried barley powder. 3 days without eating, we walked into no man's land, carrying the raw barley powder, driving the sheep, but we couldn't make fire. The tent was all wet during the night. We were soaking wet and slept on the wet ground. Not a single man was seen, only a herd of wild horse, a herd of bison, a herd of Tibetan antelope, then wolves, nothing else. We lost our way. Finally, slowly, because my friends dug gold there before, they were feeling the way out. But I was too hungry to walk. We had to walk hundreds of kilometers from the Chima River to Gurmo for 6 days. So my buddy said, "Why don't you take a ride on the Sand Baby's tractor? And after getting to Gurmo, in 3 days, you rent a small walking tractor, buy some cans and buns, and go to Great West Shoal, 60 kilometers to the north of Gurmo, and pick us up." So I took a ride with the Sand Babies, and then they took me to Gurmo. When sitting on the tractor, I was thinking to myself, I would get 2 jins of mutton and a fried noodle with minced meat when I get to Gurmo, 'cause I was so hungry. When I entered into the restaurant, I asked for mutton, but I threw up after the first bite. So I ate a little and went to sleep early at the hostel. I waited for 3 days and rented a small walking tractor, bought some canned food, buns, and watermelon, and went up to them. Those Muslims are hardcore, also faithful to friends. The friends that I make, none of them cheat or swindle. After returning to Gurmu, I sold the sheep, got the money, and they sent me to the bus. That was my first time going far. With all the money for 11 horses, I was sitting on the bus and very tense, feeling all the people were looking at me. I did not dare to sleep, holding the money all the time. Along the horse trading journeys, serendipity and connections occur, understanding between people deepens, and friendship interweaves together with shared love for horses and common suffering experienced during the journeys. Horse trading became a tie of cross-regional cultural exchange beyond its business significance. Folk sports. Tianzhu belongs to the Amdo area in the working horse cultural area. Here people with different ethnic backgrounds love riding and racing working horses. A good working horse becomes a symbol of social worth and status. Historically, tribal chiefs and wealthy families all raise working horses for racing, and influential monasteries are excellent working horse breeders. Historically, the Talon living Buddha had owned 1,000 horses and enjoyed a name of Dongda Allah, meaning living Buddha with 1,000 horses in Amdo. Among the northwestern working horse breeds, except Xinjiang breed are on average 10 to 15 centimeters taller. All other breeds have similar body height. The Tianzhu working horse has the most vigorous, fast, and smooth walking posture, also clever and good-tempered. It has advantages in short-distance walking races, no more than 3,000 meters. Xinjiang breed does not have working posture as good, requires more than a year to learn the gait, compared with 2 to 3 months needed by the Tianzhu working horse. Does not fit for cold climate at high altitude, eats small, so Amdo and Com Tibetan generally like the Tianzhu working horse better. Who told us at the Yushu horse race in August 2013, among his entire load of horses, only the Xinjiang working horse was not sold. The others were all Tianzhu horses and hot sale with higher selling prices than other breeds. We had a horse from the Lime Ditch village. We rode it twice in the trading fair. All the people were shocked and came around to see our horse, saying that, "Hey, this is Wari horse from Tianzhu, and we've never seen such walking posture and speed." That horse was sold for more than 100k yuan, and the buyer immediately resold it for 220k yuan. Till now, the buyer has been calling for more horses like that. I said no this year, but we will have 3-year-old horses like that next year. An interesting story shows us the love of herders towards the walking horse is interwoven with their religious beliefs. Horse trader Wang Dandan had a gray Tianzhu walking horse, quite wild and particularly fast. In order to care for this horse, Wang, who was over 60 years old, slept before the horse every night. But one night, while moving round and round, the horse got its neck entangled in reins and was almost choked to death. Muslim horse traders offered a high price for this horse, but Wang rejected and dedicated this horse to the Talon living Buddha. The living Buddha praised the horse and made a gesture of putting the golden saddle of the Talon temple bestowed by the Emperor Kangxi on this horse. So the horse became a divine horse. Horse race, folk custom. On June 19th, we went to Friendship Village, Firewood Ditch Town, to record an interview for May 13th Quan Kun Rain Festival horse race. This is one of the 4 biggest folk horse races in Tianzhu. Folk horse races in Tianzhu are basically held by villages on their traditional ritual day. They combine religious worship, folk equestrian sports, horse trade, and commodity exchange, form important folk fairs and festivals. They vary in size and are usually 3 to 5 days. Times of village horse races vary, forming a lively series of races one after another through lunar January to June. The opening performance is the first program of today. It was said in the past, vendors, merchants, and village families all gathered at the horse race. Besides watching games, folks celebrated dancing guozhuang, watching opera and shadow play, feasting, drinking, and finger-guessing with friends and relatives. The entire horse race was a grand folk festival, but such a scene no longer exists. Nonetheless, folk horse races often have a long history and strong continuity. For instance, the horse race at Friendship Village has been held annually with the same rules for more than 30 years, since it resumed in 1981, except for 1 year due to equine influenza. The villagers valued the horse race and chipped in to support the race when needed. No money, so we call for donation. Village carters each 100 yuan, village horse riders each 100 yuan. We made a determination and invited singers and dancers. The first day of the horse race is walking horse race preliminary. The Tianzhu horse race focuses on walking horse race. The walking horses are divided into small, 2 years old and below, medium, 3 years old, identifiable by their pair of grown front teeth, and big horses, 4 years old and above. Each age group races separately, including preliminary and final contests. Both contests uses score ranking in group, formed by casting lots. Top 13 from the preliminary can enter the final. Gait requirement is strict, with a foul leading to 0 points. Walking races are generally short, no more than 500 meters. The track here is 300 meters. As usual, more than 150 horses participated in the race, compared with 100 horses of a small-scale village horse race. One reason we have a good track. This track is natural. No one built it. Horse traders come here to test horses. The other is fairness. We are poor, but our referees are fair. The ritual and the final contest are on the May 13th, the Kwankong rain day. The herbal worship ritual started early in the day. Via simmering pile of pine branches, casting tribute and wind horse papers, and lama chanting, the villagers worship the local mountain gods and pray for good weather and well-being of the villagers for the coming year. As for the origins of Tianzhu horse racing custom, there are 3 legends. The first is the legend of tribal heroes. Once upon a time, 13 brothers of the tribe and their horses were besieged by the enemy, and later all the men and horses died in order to defend the homeland. To commemorate them, the horse race is held annually, and the top 13 are rewarded. The second is the legend of the station generals. In ancient times, to save his wife Bruguma, snatched by the king Huo, the Lion King Gasao led 13 generals and 130,000 troops and horses, defeated Huo, migrated Tibetan to live and graze on horseland, and left 13 generals stationed. After these generals died, due to their great contributions, they are worshipped as 13 war gods at the horse races. The third is the legend of Princess Wenchen. In 641, Princess Wenchen entered Tibet, and a grand celebration was held in Lhasa. At this event, the most notable activity was horse racing. Sun Campbell himself participated in the race, but only got the 13th place. Princess Wenchen specifically presented Hata to Campbell's horse to pay tribute. Till today in Tianzhu horse races, the top 13 are rewarded, especially the 13th, got the same reward as the first. From our interviews, we found the legend of tribal heroes popular in people's views of the origins of the horse race, and the legend of Princess Wenchen popular in explaining the custom that the 13th is specially respected. Upon the last band of the firecrackers at the end of the ritual, the single round of race for all running horses started. The top 13 are rewarded. Some riders are relaxed and aiming at the 13th place. After that, walking horse race final for small, medium, and big horses. Winning horses and their owners are far-famed, and all horse owners cherish the trophies won in horse races and will show them as proof of qualifications when the time comes to sell the horse. The 2011 June 6 Pine Mountain horse race we recorded, which was of a large scale, brought us a flavor of the ancient nomadic life with its vigor, momentum, and joyful atmosphere.